Terraria has 4 major classes in the game: Melee, Ranger, Mage, and Summoner. These classes all play completely differently, and because of that, some of them are much better than others. So which class is the best? Well, not Summoner. Definitely not Summoner. Everybody who plays Terraria is well aware that the Summoner class is much worse than the other 3. The main reason Summoner isn't very good is simply because it lacks variety. Look at all those weapons that the Melee class has. Look at all those magic weapons. Oh my gosh, look at all those ranged weapons. Now look at this. This is every single summoner weapon in the game. At first it looks like a lot, but compared to the other classes, it's nothing. The summoner class gets progressively better as the game continues, and near the end it's actually very powerful, but waiting until you're through most of the game in order for a class to get good is simply not worth it for most people. The challenges you face to get decent summoner gear are often much more difficult than the other classes as well. The Terra Prisma, for example, is the biggest redeeming factor for the entire summoner class, but how do you get that weapon? You have to beat one of the most difficult bosses without taking a single hit. The Summoner is really a playstyle that you go for after playing Terraria for a long time. It's a nice challenge when you want to mix things up, but it's also definitely the worst class in the game. The Mage class is my favorite class in all of Terraria, and it's also certainly not the best. It's a true glass cannon archetype where you get absurdly good damage throughout most of the game with very low defense as the trade-off. This means that if you're really experienced with the game, going with Mage is possibly the best choice, but if you're a casual player, it's one of the harder classes to work with. Having to constantly buy and use mana potions in order to make the class work is also pretty tedious and annoying. It's a small inconvenience that makes the class a lot less appealing. The best thing about the Mage class is how cool the weapons are. It might not be the most consistent or easy playstyle in the game, but man is it the most satisfying. I always feel like I've accomplished something big when I kill a boss with this class, even if it's something as simple as Queen Slime. Mage is not the strongest class, it's not the safest, it's certainly not the best, but it is the coolest. The Ranger is possibly the most consistent class in all of Terraria. It's good in the beginning, the middle, and the end. It rarely has the highest highs, but it also never has the lowest lows. Since most ranged weapons function in the exact same way, it's very easy to make progress with the class. You rarely have to learn a new weapon mechanic after the first few hours, which is a nice contrast to the Mage, where every weapon feels different from the last. There's always an option out there with the Ranger class that makes the game super easy. If you're in early hard mode, just use the Daedalus Stormbow. If you're in late hard mode, just abuse Chlorophyte bullets. If you utilize this class properly, Terraria can be a walk in the park. When using this class, you kinda just have to turn your brain off and shoot. Dodging doesn't even matter that much since you can keep a huge distance between most boss fights. The Melee class used to be universally insulted as one of the worst classes in the game, and somehow over the course of some updates, it just became the best. Melee has such a nonsensical balance of strength and protection. Instead of giving the player really good offense with bad defense or making it the other way around, Terraria gives Melee players really good offense and the best defense. Most Melee weapons have really good damage, move super fast, and have big hitboxes. At the same time, the armor you can get for the Melee class is the strongest armor in the game by far. The turtle armor alone can carry you to the end of the game in classic mode, and that armor set can be unlocked before you even fight Plantera. With these weapons you get the crazy strength of magic weapons but without the need for mana potions. You also get the consistency and speed of a lot of ranged weapons but without the need to purchase bullets. Melee is now the undeniable class for Terraria newcomers. It has the best damage, the best defense, and it's the easiest to use. The only class that can really compare with the Melee class is the Thrower. That's the true winner.